Hello and welcome to Woodfired Weekly at Manna from Devon Cooking School. This week we are going to be cooking pork tenderloin with a mushroom sauce. Nice and autumnal. We're going to put some apple into our sauce, a little bit of sage, and I've got the oven set up so that I can do both things at once. And a lovely lot of space in the Alpha 4 Peats allows me to do this. So on one side there I've got a little bed of embers and I want to get this pan really hot. So I'm going to sit that directly on those embers and heat it up with the fire at the same time. This one I'm just going to sit there, that just wants to be in a sort of quieter heat, and it's easy to do that in this oven because I've got such a lovely lot of space. So whilst those are heating up, we've got a pork tenderloin here. Pork tenderloin is this lovely strip of meat, but it doesn't have much marble in it. It's very easy to overcook it and for it to go tough and dry. So we're going to be looking out for that. We're going to cook it nice and fast in a nice hot pan, but also because there's a fire running in the oven, that automatically means it's a more humid environment, and that'll help to keep it nice and juicy. And in a nice hot oven, in a nice hot pan, it's only going to take 6 or 7 minutes to cook. I can start things off straight away with the sauce. So a little bit of oil in there. That pan is already nice and hot. Straight in with some finely chopped onion and some chopped sage. And I want to cook that fairly gently, so I'm not going to have that too close to the fire. I'm going to give that cast iron pan a little bit longer to heat up. That takes longer to heat up, but then it retains lots of fantastic heat. So the onion is up to a nice sizzle. I can smell the sage coming off there, and I'm going to go in with a big old pile of mushrooms, which I want to cook down really well. Nice fresh mushrooms, and I want to cook those down and drive off lots of water so that we get a nice intense mushroom sauce. My pan is smoking hot. The pork's been seasoned, a little bit of sunflower on the outside, salt and pepper, and I'm going to pop that straight in the pan with a sizzle. Bit of sage in there to accompany that for a bit of extra flavour. And slide it back in. The floor under those embers will now be really hot, so that pan is going to stay really hot for the duration. And these mushrooms will disappear down to next to nothing, but the flavour will still all be there. I'm going to bring that out, flip the pork over, and we should see some lovely char marks from the pan, which is why I was really keen to get that pan nice and hot, as well as to cook the pork really quickly. This should be a really quick dish, nice simple lunch or dinner for two. I think a pork tenderloin generally, 2 people for dinner, 3 people for lunch, sliced up, delicious. And those mushrooms are already starting to get nice and soft. I've got a really fierce heat in the oven, pretty much no Mississippis going on in there, so well up into the 400s, and the pork can definitely take this. I have to be a little bit careful with the sauce actually, because I could easily burn that, especially once the mushrooms have dried out and lost their moisture, so I'll be washing it carefully. But at the moment it's just cooking it nice and quickly and reducing it. Now I'm going to bring the pork out and use my probe thermometer to see how it's doing. And I wouldn't expect it to be done quite yet. It's only had 4 or 5 minutes, but I want to see how quickly it's coming along. And then I want to take it up to around about 63 degrees, something like that, which should be sort of medium, slightly pink in the middle. And that means it'll still be nice and moist. If I cook it too far beyond that, it'll definitely be dried out. So we're up towards 50 at the moment. and we'll find that it'll go quite quickly from there up to ready and nicely cooked. So I've let the oven cool down a little bit now. I wanted that initial heat to get this nice colour, but then we're cooking it through and a little bit more gently, but only very slightly. If I take the temperature again now, I don't think we'll be far off at all. Well, we're up at about 65 degrees there, so a couple of degrees over our 63, but that'll be absolutely fine. So I'm going to let that rest, deglaze the pan with a little bit of apple juice. But we'll get those lovely meat juices out of there, and then we can add those straight to the mushrooms. Along with some mascarpone, could be creme fraiche, could be double cream. But this will melt down and give us a nice creamy sauce. So you can see that cream is just melting into the sauce, and I'll just boil that now for 2 or 3 minutes more to reduce that so that it's nicely thick. And even though the fire's out, there's still masses of heat in the oven. So my sauce is looking lovely and thick, and that's everything cooked, as simple as that. Lovely pork tenderloin, mushroom, sage, cream dressing, absolutely fantastic autumnal dish. You'll have great fun doing this in your wood-fired oven. The wood-fired oven is perfect for this dish. Thank you very much for watching this video. We'll provide details of the recipe and notes on our blog, and we'll put a link to that below the video. If you've enjoyed watching, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.